Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. On Earth, a lighthouse serves to warn ships about the rocks. It is a beacon of safety. In deep space, a lighthouse serves a different purpose. Hyperspace is dark. It is chaotic. Ships traveling between stars need anchors, fixed points of quantum light, to avoid getting lost in the dimensional drift. To keep these lights burning, we need keepers. Solitary humans, stationed in metal cans light years from civilization, paid to ensure the bulb never goes out. The job is boring. It is lonely, but it pays incredibly well. There is only one catch. The Orion Corporation Procedure Manual has 500 pages on technical maintenance, and one single page, the very first one, written in bold red letters. Rule 1. The vacuum is silent. If you hear knocking on the hull, do not look out the window. Most people think it's a haze, a joke to scare the rookies. Elias thought it was a joke. Until day 184 of his shift. If you have ever heard a noise in an empty house and convinced yourself it was just the wind, smash that like button. And if you want to know what is actually floating in the dark between the stars, subscribe and ring the bell. Pressure check. Stable. The routine. Lighthouse Station Ethelgard orbited a dead brown dwarf in Sector 9. It was the quietest place in the universe. Elias was 6 months into his 12-month contract. The routine was sacred. 8 o'clock, wake up. Synthetic coffee. 9 o'clock, check the fusion core. 10 o'clock, calibrate the tachyon beam, the light. 12 o'clock, lunch. 1400 hours, free time, read, watch old movies, try not to go insane. The station was solid. Titanium walls half a meter thick. Reinforced transparent steel glass. Nothing came in, nothing went out. The only sound was the constant hum of the air scrubbers and the beating of his own heart. Elias liked the solitude. On Earth there was too much noise. Too many people. Here he was the king of his little metal castle. He knew the rules. He had memorized the manual. Rule 1. Do not look. Trucker superstitions, he would mutter to himself as he polished the main porthole that looked out into the black abyss. The sound. It happened on a Tuesday, or what passed for Tuesday in space. Elias was in the galley rehydrating a packet of spaghetti bolognese. Suddenly, a sound cut through the drone of the fans. Knock, knock, knock. Elias froze. His fork stopped halfway to his mouth. The sound was crisp, metallic. It came from the outer airlock hatch. Thermal expansion, Elias said aloud. His voice sounded thin in the empty room. It's the metal cooling down. It happens. He went back to eating. Knock, 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 knock. 4 knocks this time. Louder. More deliberate. It wasn't the random ping of contracting metal. It was a rhythm. It was a request. Elias put down the plate. His heart began to hammer in his ears. He walked to the sensor panel. Computer, he said. Hull report. Any micrometeoroid impacts? Negative, the station AI's soft voice replied. Hull integrity at 100%. No anomalies detected. Then what is knocking? There is no external audio record. Vacuum does not transmit sound. But Elias heard it. Knock, knock. Now it seemed to be coming from the living quarters window. He turned slowly. The window was covered by the blast shield, a heavy metal shutter. He always kept it closed during the night cycle. The sound was coming from the other side of the shutter. Something was tapping on the glass. An absolute vacuum. At 0 degrees Kelvin. The temptation. Elias backed away. He grabbed his maintenance tool, a heavy wrench. Not that it would do much against a ghost, but the weight of the steel in his hand grounded him. He sat in the corner of the room, staring at the closed shutter. It's my mind, he reasoned. Isolation syndrome. My brain is creating stimuli because it's bored. It's an auditory hallucination. He turned up the volume of his music. He blasted classic rock at maximum volume. But underneath the guitars he could feel the vibration in the floor. Knock, knock, knock. Hours passed. The music stopped. Elias was exhausted. The knocking changed. It stopped being rhythmic. It became frantic. Like someone trying to escape a fire. Bang, bang, bang. Elias covered his ears. Stop it. There's no one out there. You don't exist. A voice. Muffled as if speaking through thick water but audible through the metal. Elias. He held his breath. Elias, open up. It's cold. Please. It wasn't an alien voice. It was Sarah's voice. His wife. The wife who had died in a car accident 5 years ago. The reason he had taken this job at the end of the world to escape the memories. Elias, you left me out here. You forgot me. Open the window. Elias began to weep. It's not real. Sarah is dead. You are a radio frequency. You are an anomaly. I'm so lonely, Elias. The universe is so big. I just want to come in. I just want to get warm. Elias's hand trembled as he reached for the shutter control. Rule 1 flashed in his mind like a neon sign. Do not look. But what if? He thought. What if they found her? What if her consciousness is trapped in the ether? What if I am the only person who can save her? Logic is the first thing to die in space. Hope is the cruelest weapon. The revelation. He placed his hand on the switch. Computer, he said, his voice raspy. If I open the shutter, will structural integrity hold? Affirmative. The glass can withstand the pressure. Then I'm going to look. I have to know. He pressed the button. The metal shutter rose with a mechanical whine. Zzzzzzzzzzzt. The glass revealed the cosmos. Distant stars, cold and indifferent. Elias looked at the center of the window. There was nothing. Just the black void. He let out a breath, laughing hysterically. See? No one. You're crazy, Elias. Completely crazy. He leaned his forehead against the cold glass, closing his eyes in relief. I'm alone, he whispered. Then he opened his eyes. And he noticed a detail. There was nothing outside. But in the reflection of the glass, behind him inside the room, there was a figure. Pale. Bloated like someone who had drowned. With eyes that were completely black. It was floating inches off the floor inside the station. The figure smiled. It was Sarah. Or something wearing Sarah's skin. She wasn't knocking on the window from the outside. She was knocking on the window from the inside. Elias realized the truth too late. The rule wasn't to stop you from seeing something get in. The rule was to stop you from realizing that you aren't safe inside a can. You are trapped with them. The vacuum isn't the danger. The vacuum is the only thing keeping them contained. Until you bring a lighthouse here. The light attracts the moths. And the moths are already in the room. The end. The figure raised a hand. It touched Elias's shoulder. The touch was cold, absolute like absolute zero. Thank you for looking, the thing whispered. We only exist when we are observed. Schrodinger's cat needs a witness. The transmission from Station Ethelgard cut out at that moment. The rescue team arrived 3 months later. They found the station intact. The air was breathable. The food was in the pantry. But the lighthouse bulb was smashed. Elias was gone. The only thing they found was a message scratched into the glass of the main window. It was scratched with something sharp, maybe a wrench or maybe a human fingernail. The message was written on the outside of the ship. In the vacuum. It read, "Now we are the light." The Orion Corporation reactivated the lighthouse the following week. They hired a new keeper. They gave him the same manual. But they added a new line to Rule 1. If you hear knocking, turn up the music. They hate classic rock. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. They say in space no one can hear you scream. The problem is we can hear them whispering. This story made you check the window behind you, leave a like. Comment below, what is the one survival rule you would never break? Subscribe. And keep the blinds closed. What the eyes don't see, can't get in. Transmission terminated.